Ransomware just got chilly.
So this is one of the more interestingly named stories I've seen in a while. Tony, tell us, what is Brr-Dharma?
Brr-Dharma is a new type of ransomware that was recently discovered by a researcher named Jacob Kraustek. The reason why they call it Brr, B-R-R-R, is because when the files get encrypted by this ransomware, it'll tag on the files an ID dot email address dot BRRR, Brr. It is being used when someone is actively scanning the internet for systems that are running, an RDP session across port 3389. And what they do is when they find these guys, they will actually perform brute force password attacks on it. And then when they get in, they will just go in and install this ransomware onto the machines. So this ransomware does a lot of the stuff that similar, ransomwares, and the Dharma variant is actually part of the Crisis family. The Crisis ransomware family does a couple different unique things. One is as soon as it's on the machine, it'll check for and resolve some certain APIs so it can start using, which is not really suspect. But then it'll start searching for mutex items. And if it finds a particular one, it will begin the process. It decrypts its own package. It starts scanning the system. It'll delete shadow copies. It'll also try to keep itself persistent by adding stuff into the start folder, registry entries. And then once all that happens, it'll go through the encryption process and then tag each file with the ID email address and then the .brrr extension. With this ransomware, I just kind of go back to how to prevent it. It's this one in particular, and any ransomware is really you just back up your systems, back up.
Okay.
I think in the previous cases with Dharma ransomware, they used to do typically, I think, Monero-based cryptocurrency. That's what they used to ask. But it's really interesting. They're doing the encryption, but they're not providing, what if you want to get back. There are no instructions at all. That kind of piques my interest to what would be the modus operandi. Probably they're trying to recruit for some nefarious activity. Maybe they're trying to build up some sort of, bots based on open RDP sessions, as Tony alluded to it.
Well, you're saying that they're using these. Tony, you said this is purely a ransomware, though, right? Like, there's no evidence that they're trying to use the bots for some other endpoint, maybe either for crypto mining or for, something else?
Correct. The article just outlined that it encrypted the files. It was purely ransomware. So it didn't say anything about if it did any additional stuff like the crypto miner or using its resources for other aspects. The thing that interests me about when they encrypt each individual file is they add an email address. So I don't know if that's reach out to us or what the actual reason is for adding an email address to each individual encrypted file.
That is interesting. I mean, that might be their way of saying this is how, if you need support for getting a hold of Monero to pay. Yeah. It's a weird way to do it, because I've seen plenty of families that will give you a whole long list of, by the way, these are the steps to go out and buy Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I imagine you could have provided the same steps. And I'm not saying I'm encouraging these folks. I'm just saying that to be more effective, they could have done that. Yeah.
I think in this case, probably it could be possible, it's kind of in a trial run. They're trying to see, how they can leverage RDP port 3389, and maybe probably they're testing a little bit. Maybe it's not full-fledged at this time. That's what I could think of it. But other than that, I'm at a loss. But as Tony said, I'll just modify with the backups. I would say, it's always good to have verified backups. We all know, we take backups, but we never verify it.
Right.
I think that's a good information, Tony.
Yeah, this is interesting.